Hi, thanks for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. I just finished fishing Hilton Lake number 3 for Wilderness with Amani on Patreon. Caught some beautiful golden trout rainbow hybrids, and it's 2 o'clock. And I kind of wanted to run down to Hilton Lake number 2 and see what's in here. I might come backpacking here next month. But I wanted to just do a quick fishing test of it while I'm here. I have only got 2 hours. I've got to be hiking out of here by 4 o'clock. And that's a hard deadline. So I just want to see what kind of fish are here. I got barbless jigs, tube jigs, and I'm fishing nymphs. Basically what I had on up at Hilton Lake number 3 up above. And let's see if I can get something in here. I read that there's brookies, browns, and rainbows in here. I got 2 hours, so I better get to fishing, because I still gotta hike out of here and drive home. So a lot of hiking today. It's probably one of those 12 to 13 day hike miles for me, which is fine. I'm getting to see some stuff. I got in some good fishing already. Let's see if we can get in a little bit more fishing. So it's a big lake. It's really windy. I'm thinking maybe I want to go on this shoreline because it looks like there's a decent windbreak over there. It doesn't look like there's a really good fishing path around the lake. So I'm just gonna have to figure this out really quick. So I'm just gonna go left, see what that's like, and if it's no good, I'm gonna go right. That's all I can do. Right when I walked up, several fish swam out of that little inlet right there. And one of them wasn't that bad. So that's what I'm trying to see, if I can at least put eyes on some decent fish so I know what I can expect. I don't want to hike here and stay here if all it is gonna be is little brookies. But we'll see. Let's start breaking through some of this brush around the lake and get over there. I decided I want to go over there because I want to see if I can do some shoreline spot fishing. That's the easiest way to get the fish if the fish are hanging out on the shore. This is just what I was hoping for. There's some decent brookies just posted up right on the bank, like a foot from the shore. And they're just feeding on with stuff that falls in the water. I can see one right below me. I can see one over there. So this could be a good 2 hours. Because this is like what I do. This is my main thing. There we go. There we go. And these are some nice brookies, man. I'll stay here for fish like this. Oh, first cast. Hilton Lake number 2 on the board. Get my net wet. That way I can get my hand wet on my net. But this is I consider this to be a nice brook trout. Right out of the gate, that's a nice brook trout. I like Hilton Lake number 2. There's fish here. Get him back in the water. He'll probably swim right into that log. Ooh, there's another one out there. There's another one out there. He's a little spooked because he swam over. But that doesn't mean he won't bite. Just because he's a little spooked doesn't mean he's smart. Oh, he's too smart for me. He saw his buddy just get torn from the water. No wonder he's reluctant. I just missed him. He swam for it. He might go again. He already got a bite of it. I shortened my leader to about 5 feet because if I'm going to be sight fishing, then 5 feet's all I need. That guy came after it and I missed the hook set. One on the other side of this log. Oh, I got all tangled up on myself. I tangled myself. Oh, that was horrible. You know when you do something that's just awful? There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. He thought he had me. He might have a chance because he's on the other side of this tree, but He should have just stayed on his side of the log. My net's wet. I'm gonna hoist him. It's a good brookie. Good brookie for this lake. Ooh, that's wet. Ooh, ooh. There we go. Let's take a look at this guy. And if this is the average fish, then there's bigger fish than this. That's a pretty good brookie right there. Get him on this side of the log. There he goes, right into that log jam. And they're just cruising. You can see them cruising, and they're all close to shore. My little short leader is going to give me the control I need to take a few of them down. So what do you say? Let's go take some down. Suddenly, I ain't seeing so many on the shoreline. So I'm going to do a couple deep casts with this jig. The first cast I did, I saw one follow it, but they weren't taking it. So far, I carried my spinning rod up here for nothing. I got nothing on it in the last lake. It was all fly rod. And so far, it's the same thing in this lake, but I've only made 2 casts. But my confidence isn't very high on the jig right now. Just tried to set the hook on a fish on a jig, but it was too small for the jig, I think. Like, he got it a couple times. The reason I'm doing the jig is I want to get a couple casts in deep and see if there's anything big down there. There's a decent brookie down there swimming around in circles. So he's feeding on something below the surface. I want to try to get this out when he's not seeing me. Oh man, that was no good, no good. There we go, there we go. See if he comes up for it. See if he comes up for it. Come on, brookie. Come on, brookie, do your thing. Oh, he's going the wrong way. That's not where my nymph is. My nymph is over here. Oh. He must have seen me. I think he saw me. No, wait, maybe not. He's feeding on something down at a pretty deep level. There, he sees my nymph. He sees my nymph. He didn't take it. Don't play hard to get, brookie. I just threw one in. And I was gonna make another cast with that one guy, and this little one came. But what's good about this fish, he's small, but there's definitely rainbows in here, because this is a rainbow. So we just learned another thing. What did we learn? There's rainbows. And that's a rainbow. That's a wild rainbow. So there's his big brothers and sisters are in here. That's who I want. Rainbows are way more aggressive than the slightly larger brookies. There's a lot of them though. I haven't seen anything big cruising yet, but I got some good deep water here, so I'm gonna do some test casts. Oh, this is actually a brookie. Big in this deep water. There he goes. And this is the fly I'm using now. What a surprise. Pheasant tail beadhead, but a really small one. And they seem to be all over it, and the length of my leader is fine for this. The fish in the open water are a little tougher to convince with a short leader like this. But the stuff right on the bank, no problem. You find these little shallow areas when there's brookies in a lake, and I can see just multiple. Some are swimming around and feeding aggressively. The one I want is just sitting on the bottom. He's not doing nothing. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get any closer without spooking that fish though. I need like another 2 feet. 2 feet isn't a lot to ask, dude. Just stay still, just for a second. Just for a second. Oh, I spooked everything. I spooked everything with that loud splashdown. But that doesn't mean it's over yet. The problem with casting at fish that are in like 3 inches of water. He's coming for it. He's coming for it. He's coming for it. I let him fall off pretty much. He was just smaller than I wanted to deal with. I'll see if he'll bite it again. This guys right off this grass are feeding super aggressive. He's going right for it. Right for my net. Right there, right there. Oh! He didn't take it. He swam up, but he didn't eat it. That guy did. Oh! What's wrong with you? You guys need to practice your nymph grabbing. I lost my edge of sight fishing. Oh! Oh! I just fell. I just lost that fish because I fell and just tore my sight up on this bush. Ow! Oh, I had one hooked, but obviously I didn't have a plan to make it to the water. This wind is making it almost impossible for me to tell the difference between the brookies and the rocks. Pretty good fish right there if I can get him. I don't know if I can. Get trees all around me. He's feeding. There he goes. He went right for it. Oh, he swam away. There he goes. Oh, there. He passed it up the first time. That second time, it was sucker. I'm definitely spend some time at this lake and fishing. This is fun. There he is. He's letting him get a little fired up in there. He's ready to go. He's had enough of me. And I mean, these are good brookies. They're fun to catch. They're just in the middle-sized spectrum as far as Sierra brookies go. He swam under this log, which brookies tend to do. Sometimes they just post up there. And when they're out cruising in the deeper water, they can be a lot more finicky. If you can sneak up without them seeing you, and they're just sitting motionless, and then just attacking anything that falls in the water off this grass or the wind's blowing, they're pretty easy to catch usually. They'll run right out. And the nymph I'm using now is completely falling apart. But I'm not going to be fishing much longer. So I've seen about what I could see of this lake that's necessary on the time frame I have. I don't have time to sit and go out on a point and let my nymph sink or fish woolly buggers and stuff like that. But I'm going to fish a little bit more. That's where I was. Right up there is where Hilton Lake number 3 is, where I was fishing earlier. There's some nice fish in that lake, but you got to go up a really nasty hill to reach them. And I think I'm going to try to get out around here. I hiked in over there and there wasn't no trail. I was just I was battling through bushes. So in an hour or so, I got to see as much as I needed to see. I know I want to come back. I can hear a big rushing inlet back in the back. I want to see those boulders. I wasn't able to confirm the brown trout, but I was able to confirm the rainbow trout. And I definitely want to come here, spend the night here, fish this a whole day where I can go around the whole lake and see the different spots, because sometimes different kinds of fish will hang out in different areas of the lake. Like all those brookies were hanging out in that shallow stuff, but then they were doing different stuff where it got deeper. They weren't hanging out right on the bank, which I hate to see because I like them right on the bank when there's no wind and I can just throw my nymph to them. Because I'm lazy, you see. But this is all good and it was fun. And if you're wondering how I get so much content on my channel playlist, getting up towards 700 videos, let's see, Owens River, Rock Creek, Hilton Lake number 3 for Patreon, and then Hilton Lake number 2 for YouTube in about 36 hours. And then I got to drive home 3.5 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and hike the 4.5 miles out of here. 5 miles it takes to get out of here. Once I find the trail, I hiked in cross country, so I got to figure out where the actual trail is. And I need to get out of here. But I hope you enjoyed this quick fishing test of Hilton Lake number 2. It was a necessary step. I always try to get a little drinking in before before I finish filling it up. And I'm glad I took the time to come down here because it was good. So, thanks for joining me on Wilderness with Amani. Until next time.